stay tuned because for the next 60 minutes, Motorsports Unlimited is on the air. Hi, I'm Jerry Bryant, and these are the lovely ladies of motorsports. And all this hour, we're going to have 60 minutes of action-packed excitement. All kinds of exciting things will happen. And we got the famous Bill Wildt, and we got all kinds of other good stuff that's happening all this hour. Motorsports Unlimited, 60 minutes.
If I may interrupt for just a moment. Hi, I'm Patty Borwitz. Welcome to Motorsports Unlimited, part 1327. Today we want to turn the calendar back 11 years and show you something we put together in 2002 out of material we taped but didn't have room for in the shows which they were taped. Nothing goes to waste on Motorsports Unlimited. Let's see what we had. Luda and Jeannine?
Hi everybody, welcome to the studio headquarters of Chicagoland's most watched, most talked about Access television series. I'm Jeannine Lauschat, and this is the 823rd edition of Motorsports Unlimited.
And I'm Luda Kay. What is the show about today, Jeannine?
I'm not really sure how to introduce it.
Try.
Okay, Luda, here goes. Today we're going to show the audience footage that we shot during 2002 and didn't have a chance to use. We have some great stuff, including the rollover competition from the tow show and more from the tractor show, including more of Bill driving a bulldozer, he insisted, and much more. Let's start, however, with an update of my stick shift driving prowess.
Let's see how she did it. What I say?
Of course, this is Jeannine Lauschat, and you will recall several weeks ago we taught her how to drive a stick shift automobile. The object of it was that her husband, it was kind of a funny story, her husband bought her. As a matter of fact, while we're talking here, Jeannine, why don't you go ahead and drive and show the audience that you can actually drive a stick shift automobile now. This is our friend Paul Scovera's Jetta. It's a 5-speed manual transmission car. And go ahead, Jeannine, while we're chatting, and I'm going to tell the audience what's going on. We want to show them that, and I'm going to swing the camera shot this way just for a moment to show there's nobody in the front seat pushing the pedals for you or anything like that, that you're doing it all by yourself and getting underway all by yourself. And try not to kill me because I can't grab the controls from back here, so try to be careful.
I'm in second gear. I'm doing fine.
She's doing just fine. She did the most important thing, of course, is that she got the thing underway. This is an update because we want to show people that anybody can drive a stick shift. If you're taught correctly, if you're taught properly, really anybody can do it. And Jeannine is living proof of this. Remember, if you'll remember the story, her husband, Art Lauschat, bought her a brand new, I believe it was a 1996 car, 1996 or 97, Jeannine?
96.
Okay. And apparently you having trouble putting gear? No, you just missed a gear.
Yeah.
Okay. She's not really quite an expert yet. She's still learning, but she gets the car underway fine now. So that's probably the most important thing. That was the key.
Yeah.
But anyway, what was it? A brand new 1996 Camaro?
A 96 Camaro SS. With six speed.
With a 6-speed.
Right.
And the cool part about it was, and I don't know how Art ever got away with this, but she can't drive a stick shift car.
I'm waiting for traffic here.
so of course any driving that was going to be done with Jeannine's brand new car was going to be Art driving. If I got it right so far, Jeannine?
Yes.
And this didn't just go on for 6 months, folks. This has been going on now for 7 years. She has been unable to drive her own car because she can't drive stick shift.
But come this summer, when we get it out, come the spring, I'll be the one driving it, hopefully.
Okay, she's good. She's determined now, and she does have it. She can get the car underway just fine. We've been driving around here for about 30 minutes or so just to make sure that she hasn't lost the knack of it, because unfortunately she hasn't been driving since the lesson occurred. But I can see that she's kind of got it. Now, on today's program, Jeannine and I are just going to ride around. And on today's program, we've got a number of other pieces to put into this program, including this update of Jeannine Lauschat driving stick shift. And I'm not sure what the next piece is that we're going to put in, but we're going to have somebody, probably Jeannine will be one of them, tell you in just about a minute what's coming next. So don't go away, folks. We will rejoin Bill and Jeannine on the road with the stick shift artist, Jeannine Lauschat.
Yeah.
So look at
Watch out, Chris.
Yeah, she downshift. Yeah, watch out, Chris DeSalvo, she's saying. But she made the downshift in the corner nicely, and she's doing just fine. So, folks, we're going to come back in a few minutes. We're going to drive around a little bit more, and we'll see you again.
I'm confident I can do it now, except I must tell you, it's more difficult with the camera rolling. It made me nervous.
Jeannine did just fine. It's very difficult to learn manual if you started with automatic.
We'll get back to my driving update, but next, we're going to take you back to the Lake County Farm Heritage Association Fall Festival.
Ah, the tractor show.
That's right, but they had much more than tractors there, including a terrific car show that included a parade of the vehicles on display. We taped a little of it.
Let's take a look.
Driver Fred Phelps, retired medical fireman. All right, here we got, we're going camping, right? We got Jack and Ann Powers going camping.
Bill really likes the parade feature of the Farm Heritage Show and thinks that it could be used in some of the other shows that have room, like maybe the North Lake Days show.
This is one of the very few 1947 Plymouth business coupes with global positioning in it. It's got a big V8 engine, it's a beautiful street rod. Here comes Jack Bowser with his model 1928 Ford custom body suite. This model is very rare. 1956 Ford F-250, Jim Peterson, North Barrington. I had a 56. It's like that, only mine was a little half done. A 1957 Ford T-Bird, Bill Axelson, Long Lake. He owned that car for 40 years. Here comes the real hot rod of 1935 Paul Gerhardt from Mundelein, Illinois. He owned that car since 1950. What more? He paid $350 for it in 1964. He stole that car. The man should be in jail for stealing a car like that for $450. All right. A 1931 Model A Ford. Joe and Gert Pasquale from Libertyville, Illinois. Joe and Gert, you got a real nice Model A. All right, here we got a 1937 Dodge. 1939 Dodge. Bill Stoop, Crystal Lake. Bill, you got a real nice looking car. Thanks for bringing it out here. A 1970 Buick Skylar. Lee Jennings, McHenry, Illinois. Top down, and of course, a nice day like this, you definitely have the top down. It's about a 1947 Mercury. Eric and Lucas Swanson from Sylvan Lake. Guest Dan in West Hart. A real nice Mercury. All right, here we coming up right now. Losing the runners. No, my runners done fine. They're in the 37. 1937, I do believe. Ford pickup truck. That should be owned by Gail Bronsdorf from Round Lake. 1937 Ford pickup. Gail likes his mid-30s pickup trucks and does a beautiful job of restoring. Ford station wagon, 1931, Earl Young from Grays Lake. Thanks a lot, Earl, for bringing your Model A out. A 1927 Model T, Dan Helgert from Round Lake. 1927 was the last year they built Model Ts. A 1933 Chevrolet Coach Eagle, Preston Helgert from Gurnee. A real nice looking 33 Janesville vibrator, Chevy, real nice. Here comes old Wendell Stevenson. He couldn't get his tractor running, so he's got his 1938 Baker President. 1930 Model A Coupe, Model A four-door sedan. 1930 four-door sedan Model A. Okay. Right behind it is a beautiful T-Bird. The 1955 Ford T-Bird, all right. Here comes a 2-horsepower outfit from up in Union Grove, Wisconsin. They've come down here. I lost the card on this one. A beautiful pair of horses. Oh, we got a card here somewhere on the horses. Here we go. Glenn Gilmore. Hey, that teamster's 86 years old. Bonnie and Bell, a pair of Percheron draft horses from Bristol, Wisconsin. A beautiful pair of black Percherons. Glenn Gilmore's the owner and teamster. A pair of horses.
A wonderful car show, included with tractors, hit-and-miss engines, and much more.
Including a very cool radio control model, tractor pull.
He had her going. What happened? In or out? Out. Okay. That's a bad break for Tony. It really is. Disqualification.
That's great.
And that'll bring up the white cloud.
You got a minute. I'll get the one guy over there to chat with you. Okay. You have no problem. That's pointless. Okay. I'll just put this for collage footage. You know, show you what y'all has going on. Like I said, again, I love the nature.
Please remember, this was taped at the 2002 Lake County Heritage Farm Show in Wakanda, Illinois. It's an annual event.
I think that's necessary.
The Lake County Farm Heritage Association Fall Festival had something for everyone, and it's an annual event.
Now let's catch up with Bill and Jeannine driving stick shift.
Well, we're back, and Jeannine's been doing just fine as we're driving around here. Our sharp-eyed viewers are going to notice that I made a little bit of a technical change in our camera setting. I took the backlight off of it because I wanted you to actually see some of the outside areas so that you can see that, yes, in fact, she is moving. She's moving right along here. I know that when we've got it set for the backlight condition, which is actually the conditions we're shooting under, it blows the background out and it's real hard to see. Unfortunately, we can't see pretty Jeannine either here, but she doesn't really have her face turned this way, so she's probably kind of a silhouette here. Anyway, we're pulling up to a stop sign here right now, and Jeannine, as you do things, I want you to tell the audience what you're doing.
All right. Well, I've got the clutch in and the brake down. I'm going to shift back into first. I'm going to raise my foot on the clutch and let it roll out a little bit before I give it some gas and make my turn. And as I hear the engine come up, I can shift down into second, depressing the clutch and bringing the shift back. And depress the clutch and get up into third.
What was the key thing, because you seem to be doing fine, what was the key thing that you had to learn to drive a stick shift?
Simply in controlling the clutch, engaging and disengaging the clutch enough that I can get underway.
And there's a name for that problem you were having getting underway. What did you have to learn?
Oh, to freeze the clutch.
Say it again slowly and carefully, and slow down for the corner because you're scaring me.
I'm downshifting.
Thank you. She's downshifting. She's got the language down.
Yes, and I freeze the clutch. In other words,
come to a complete stop right now, and I
Okay.
want you to do it, and I want you to explain to the audience what that means, what you're doing.
Okay, what I'm doing then is, as I'm raising my foot slowly off the clutch, I'm watching and waiting for the car to actually move as it is now. And as it starts moving, I start depressing the gas so as to get the car completely underway. Depressing the clutch, pulling back into second.
Okay,
and
I want you to come to a
going.
complete stop now because you forgot the most important part, and we're trying to teach the audience.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, come to a stop. And by the way, folks, I want to tell you, Jeannine drives way too fast. And in a very short period of time, I'll be taking over because my nerves can't take it. So slow down. Now I want you to explain the launch once more, and this time don't forget the important part that was important for you in order to learn how to drive.
All right.
Or drive stick, I should say. Go ahead.
Right. Okay. coming off the brake. It's in first. And as I'm raising my foot off the clutch, raising the clutch actually, as the car starts to roll, I freeze my foot on the clutch.
Freeze meaning you don't allow the clutch to come up any further.
Right. You stop your foot right there, and then giving it a little gas. And as you're underway, then raise your foot completely off the clutch, and you're underway. Clutch, shift gears.
And she's going to slow down. Thank you. All right, folks, I think you can see that as Jeannine and I are riding around here, we did successfully teach Jeannine Lauschat how to drive stick shift. On the other hand, her explanation of the shift was a little vague. So in the next segment, when you come back to us, again, I don't know what we're going to put in here, but on the next segment, we're going to have her describe the shift so you know how to do that yourselves, all right? Jeannine, now you know what you have to do in the next segment, right?
I'm going to try doing that, yes.
Okay, so don't go away, folks. We're coming back for the continuing drama of Jeannine Lauschat driving stick shift.
It's harder to do when you have to explain on camera. Still, I think I did pretty well. I can hardly wait to drive my 6-speed SS Camaro this summer.
I hope she doesn't find herself upside down.
What Luda is talking about is the next piece we're going to show you, the rollover competition we taped at the Professional Towing and Recovery Operators of Illinois Convention, as we call it, the Tow Show. They have a variety of competitions, and we taped one of the competitors in the rollover competition.
What you are looking at is the upside down car this year a little different because it's in a ravine. Upside down car that these guys are going to try to turn right side up. Do I have it right, Bill Howard?
That's correct.
Okay, and if I understand this correctly, you're going to narrate for me.
I'm going to try to do that very thing.
Okay, well, we've got the guy in the cab that's the first contestant, so we're going to step out of the way, and if I understand this right, we're going to hear him beep his horn and then he gets going?
That's right. He's going to beep his horn to let the judges know that he's going to start his competition.
Let's step out of the way so he can work, and we'll come over here and we will continue to narrate.
He failed to beep his horn, which is going to cost him a point.
We probably confused him. I told him to start when we stepped out of the way. Probably my fault.
So he's going to safely exit his truck. Oh, there he's going to sound his horn now. Okay, so he's got that point back. So many times we're faced with this. Well, the police will call us out and not tell us what they have in store for us, and we come to find that we have a vehicle overturned either on or off the roadway. This simulates one being in the ditch on the side of the roadway. And first thing that you're going to see the driver do here is to secure the scene. The last thing you want is to have people walking too close to your piece of recovery equipment or the disabled car. That car could be leaking hazardous materials, leaking gasoline, oil, antifreeze, many things that the recovery technician here is trained to deal with, but the average person, if they were to walk up, could hurt themselves or cut themselves or get something hazardous on them. So he's going to cone this area off to keep bystanders from getting in his way here.
I notice he's wearing a hard hat, gloves, and glasses.
He's got hard hat, good gloves. He has his reflective vest on, very visible vest. He has steel-toed shoes on.
Is all of this something that gets scored?
Yes, it is. It's all this gets scored. I do not know. I didn't see the rules this year. He may lose a point for having short pants on.
Really?
That's not really something that we consider to be a good idea in the industry. But we're at a tow show situation here, and he's not really at work, so it may be that he doesn't have a good pair of work pants with him. Now, what you're seeing him do here, he's got to be able to affix to the far side of that vehicle. He's got to be able to pull from that side so that as he draws this winch line in, it'll actually lift the far side of the vehicle up. It'll come up on the side we're looking at here first, if he's doing this correctly, and then back over, continue to come towards us and land on its wheels.
Is it more difficult on asphalt or in the grass?
It's actually a little more difficult most times on asphalt.
Because we've seen him slide the cars.
Right. This actually helps you. This terrain that we have here will cause that car to bite a little bit and kind of sit still where it is. So he's going to have a little easier time there than he actually would if it was up here on the pavement.
Looks like he's taking the slack out of the line.
He's got the slack out of the line. He's got his boom is extended a little bit there. And as you see now, he's drawing winch line in and at the same time raising his boom. And he's going to have his car on the side here. Once the car's on the side, the hard part's over.
Well, I don't know. Sometimes it can be kind of difficult getting it up the ravine, too.
Well, that's a whole different story. I think the whole point of this contest is to get the car to its wheels.
Now, this fella's pretty good, I think.
He's very good. He's got a lot of experience. He's been doing this for a while. You can tell he knew what type of specialized chain to use there.
Do you know his name?
There we go. We call him Shorty.
Shorty, yeah, I can see he's about 7 feet tall.
He works for Airline. He's got his name on his vest there. And he's a good recovery man. He's gotten this thing done efficiently, quickly. And at this point, the only thing that would need to be done at this point would be to winch it up onto the roadway, hook it up, and leave with it.
Okay, and I assume he has been scored on everything that he's done.
Everything he's done and anything that the judges feel he has failed to do, which, in my opinion, I haven't really seen anything he's forgotten to do here.
No, he looks like he knows what he's doing.
He's a good operator. And the point is to get this done quickly. We need to get this done quickly and get it out. That's the whole new scheme of things with incident management and the way the Federal Highway Safety Administration wants us to work. They want us to get these things out of the way quickly.
Well, I'll tell you something, it's very encouraging to see how seriously you guys take your work and that you actually have contests to achieve this. And how many contestants do we have today, do you know?
I think we have 6 in this contest here.
Yeah, because you also had earlier the maneuvering contest.
We had driving contests for light and heavy duty on the other end of the parking lot.
Okay, well, Bill Howard, thank you so much, and we will wait with interest how this fellow does, Shorty, how he does in the judging.
I hope I never need it, but it's nice to know there are professionals around to make things right.
Jeannine better be careful with the 6-speed Camera SS.
Despite what Bill says, I'm a very safe driver. Speaking of driving, Bill wants you to see a little more of him driving a bulldozer, including learning a little bit about how to start one.
Okay, what do we do now in order to start this thing?
First of all, we got to get the pony motor started with the 2-cylinder gasoline engine.
Go right ahead. Apparently we have successfully started the pony motor, as he called it. Now it's turning the big engine over. We have success. The big motor is now running. Now do you shut the little one down?
You let the little one run out of gas.
Ah, okay.
Because what happens is the gasoline will slosh around the carburetor and it'll get into the crankcase. And that was one of the problems with the pony motors, because they would have fuel dilution in the oil and it would wreck the main bearings in the pony motor.
Okay, you're ready to drive now, right? Go right ahead.
Bill was as excited as a schoolboy about his opportunity to drive a bulldozer.
This was his first time.
Watch as he gets instructions. I wonder if it's a stick shift.
We're showing you this to remind you summer is just starting, and there are all kinds of cool things to do. You just have to look around a little bit. That's what we do. Bill's eating this up. He's still talking about it today.
What a show off. He said he felt like the boss while driving the bulldozer. He said it was an intoxicating feeling.
Speaking of driving, let's get back to the stick shift artist, Jeannine.
Well, I'm certainly impressed. Jeannine has been making one start and stop after another I don't think, Jeannine, I don't think you've killed the engine more than, once or twice in the whole couple hours we've been driving?
Right.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad. I think you're getting the idea of it, except you drive too fast. Other than that,
I'm going 20.
yeah,
Speed limit's 30.
Sometimes I know what the speed limit is, but sometimes 20 can be 10 miles an hour too fast. So let's not talk about the numbers. Let's talk about the appropriate speed for the conditions. Meaning, Bill Wildt is in the back, scared to death. So if we're going to bounce off something, I want to do it at a slow speed. In any event, now you know what we've got to do is I want you to teach the audience. Now we've already talked about the launch, which is the most difficult part of learning how to drive a stick shift, and now you've got a tractor trailer, which you really don't want to deal with, right? So come to a stop. That's okay. You can let him sit there for a moment. Let him do whatever he's doing. And now you've explained the launch. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay. And what I wanted you to explain now was the shift. So while we're waiting for the truck, go ahead and tell the audience what you actually do in the course of making a shift to go from first to second or second to third or what have you.
Well, number one, depressing the clutch so as to disengage the clutch from the engine, and at the same time
disengage the engine from the rear wheels.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's
yes.
okay. That's all right. That's fine. No, I know you're not that technical.
And then as the clutch is depressed, getting a hold of the shift and pulling it just gently but naturally, more or less in a natural movement, so long as you know what the pattern of the gears is from first to second.
What's the pattern? What are you talking about, pattern?
Okay, on this particular model, it has a hard left and up is your reverse, and I guess it locks you out from getting there accidentally.
Show the audience when you're in neutral how you know that.
Okay, that the shift, it moves rather easily from side to side.
And all the way at its extremities.
Yes.
Right. If
Yes,
it were in
completely
here, you
from
wouldn't.
right to left.
From right to left. That's the middle leg of the H, if you will, or the center position. So that tells you that you're in neutral, and you always, of course, check for neutral before you start the car and stick the clutch down and all that. Now, almost all shift knobs will have a shift pattern on them, and this one has a shift pattern also. It used to be relatively simple because we told people it's just an H because cars only had 3 forward speeds and 1 reverse, so it was in fact in a form of an H. However, cars now have 4 speeds and 5 speeds and 6 speeds, so it's a little bit more complicated. But it's just really a matter of looking at the shift pattern and kind of following it. It's not as precise as you might like it, but it's pretty good. Now, if you would go ahead and put it in first, I think the trailer truck is done, and check your mirrors and do all the rest of the stuff so you don't scare me, although I am afraid. Sorry, folks, I am the world's worst person to, I want to drive all the time. I want to be the one in charge. And it makes me crazy to be back here. In any event, okay, now you're going to go around this corner to the left, and I want you to slow down a little bit because I'd like you to put it back into first gear.
It is.
It's back in first, and I want you to, okay, I want you to describe the shift now. Not before you do it, I want you to tell the audience what you're doing.
It's kind of hard to describe as I'm doing it because, anyway, let me come to another stop.
Okay.
Then. Okay.
Well, she's pushing her luck, folks. She's coming to a stop again. She's got it down now. She's confident she can get underway,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Okay, I have it up in first, and
that's the first. That's the first time she killed the engine. And she'll be the first to admit this is a little bit harder on camera than when we're off camera.
Yes, how embarrassing.
No, it's fine. I want people to see everybody makes that mistake. And what she did was she didn't freeze the clutch appropriately or add a little gas. So go ahead and tell the audience what you're doing.
Okay. I have my foot,
I'll tell you that, no, you know why you're making a mistake?
Why?
You're not in first gear. I can feel it.
It is, okay, I want to start off in neutral.
That's the idea. Put it in neutral. Remember, you do not have enough power in second or third gear. This is a little economy car. You don't have enough power to pull anything but first gear to get underway.
It's in first.
No, it's not in first. Stick the clutch down, pull it into the neutral gate first.
Yeah.
Slide it back and forth, and go into first, left and forward.
Right.
You're not in first gear. There, that's first. There you go.
There.
You see the difference in feel?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, before you take second gear, tell the audience what you're going to do.
Press the clutch.
First, let off on the gas, depress the clutch. Go ahead.
And just pull back.
Then let the clutch out.
Let the clutch out and give it gas again.
Okay, I think she's got it. Again, we've got some other things to do, but the one thing that I want Jeannine to discuss on camera, because quite frankly, she's expressed several times now, why in the heck would anybody want a stick shift? Am I right, Jeannine?
Exactly. Why? When there's so much to have to concentrate on.
Okay, we're going to talk about that in the next segment. Right now, folks, again, we're going to send you back to the studio and put in another compelling piece that was previously shot but not aired.
Well, that was embarrassing. But believe me, it's hard to do with Bill looking over your shoulder and the camera rolling.
You did just fine, Jeannine.
I think I did, but I'm anxious to find out why on earth someone would want a manual transmission when automatics are available.
I like automatic. I'm able to do stick, but I like automatic.
While we all think about it, let's go back to the Lake County Farm Heritage Association Fall Festival and check out some of the tractor parade.
Now I would like to give you a wonderful voiceover describing all of the vehicles in this parade, but quite frankly, as you know, I don't know a great deal about tractors other than what I learned at this show. And let me remind you that this was at the Lake County Farm Heritage Association Fall Festival, and this happens in September every year in Lake County.
really well worth attending. We thoroughly enjoyed it, and there was really something for everyone. I know that most people are going to think this would be just for farmers, but it's absolutely not true. Anyone can find something of interest at this show. And by the way, there comes Chuck Chaplewski, the owner of the bulldozer that I got to drive. Thank you once again, Chuck. It was absolutely terrific. I've wanted to drive a bulldozer all my life, and Chuck gave me the opportunity to do it, and it was just wonderful. You talk about feeling like the boss. Boy, do you feel like the boss. Now, notice also that there's tractors of all sizes, shapes, and descriptions, all the way down to farm tractors. What we have here is a Ford, I call it a Ford Ferguson. I guess it's just a Ford tractor. I always call them Ford Fergusons because that's what I remember from my youth. But apparently the Ferguson part of it is the design of the three-point hitch. Still in all, Ford Ferguson is appropriate for that. And you knew it was a Ford Ferguson, or a Ford, I should say, because it was gray. And we learned that on the tractor show, that the gray ones are the Ford tractors, the red ones are the Farmalls, and the green ones are the John Deeres. Now, having said that, let me also say this. There are some variations on that, because there's an Oliver, a much smaller manufacturer, that also has green for a color, although they have a fairly large splash of yellow on it too, but it's kind of a predominantly green vehicle. And there are some smaller tractor manufacturers where the lines of distinction starting to get blurred. But as far as the big manufacturers are concerned, and I hope I'm saying this right, and if I'm not, we'll correct it again in a later program, the big manufacturers, the green ones are the John Deeres, the gray ones are the Fords, the red ones are the Farmalls, and the orange ones are the Alice Chalmers. And by the way, take a look at that one. That happens to have a flathead Ford V8 in it. I hope you noticed the stacks that were on the side of it. Pretty cool tractor. They had a lot of, those originally came with 4 cylinders, and they had a lot of them converted to 6 cylinders, kind of by the dealers, and apparently they had a couple of them that had the Ford flathead V8 put in it too. Now, by the way, I want you to kind of listen to this tractor as it goes by, and I'll explain why. Apparently, in the early years, the John Deeres had a specific sound that you either loved or hated. The Farmalls, as I understand it, their biggest competitor, the red ones, the Farmalls, were 4 cylinders, and I guess later 6 cylinders also, whereas the early John Deeres were all 2 cylinders, and they give that unique kind of thump, 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 thump. And there are just some people just absolutely are enchanted by the sound of the John Deeres. And typically, if you're a John Deere fan, you're in love with the sound of the early John Deeres. Now, apparently, as I learned from covering this show, in later years, of course, John Deere also has 4 cylinders and all the rest of it. But they're most remembered, and I imagine even to this day they have 2-cylinder John Deeres, and they're most remembered for that particular sound. I want to follow up on one thing, though. I want to mention that this is not a show that you have to be a farmer to enjoy. If you'll recall when we covered this, they had a wonderful display of hit-and-miss engines. And the hit-and-miss engines, these are engines that were used at the turn of the century to drive water pumps and things like that for irrigation and that sort of thing. They turn at very slow speeds, typically around 100 RPM, and most of them have all of their... And by the way, there's a Case tractor going by, also orange, and when you see an orange tractor, you would expect Alice Chalmer, but the fact is Case has a very, very similar orange, although some people insist that it's quite different. But I think it kind of looks very similar to Alice Chalmer. It's easy to confuse. In any event, anybody can enjoy this day. Those hit-and-miss engines were absolutely wonderful, and the thing I liked most about that, for youngsters out there trying to understand how a 4-cycle engine works, watching a hit-and-miss engine run will clearly and easily show you how they work, because the crankcases on most of them are open. You can watch the crankshaft go around, then the connecting rods going up and down, and the pistons going up and down, and then on the other side the valves are all exposed, and you can watch the valves working. It's just a wonderful educational experience. But in addition to that, everywhere you looked, there was something to enjoy at this event. Yes, it was primarily for farmers, because this is all farm equipment. By the way, look at this great antique tractor. Now that is a Farmall that's not red, so you know that that one is really an early Farmall, because they're all red now. But anybody can enjoy something at this parade, whether they had games for the kids, and they had these barrel trains, they called them, where they were towing people all over the place, and hay wagon rides and all the rest of it. And not to mention, we already showed you today's program that they had the radio-controlled model model tractor pull going on, which was also quite interesting. And let me say something else about the presentation of this event. And by the way, very quickly, we also showed you earlier a piece of the car show parade. This event also had a wonderful car show there. I wish we were taping 2 or 3 shows there, because we could have done a whole show just with the car show. And there were a number of cars, I presume because they are friends of the people in the Farm Association. There were a number of those cars that we have never seen before. They were wonderful, wonderful cars. But beyond that, I really like the way they do this, that they have this parade. I would like to see some of the car show people pick up on this idea where it's practical, where it's possible, where they have enough space. There's something quite difficult, or quite different about actually seeing the vehicles moving that I think is pretty compelling. And this was actually an excellent idea. I believe that these were all static displays. All these tractors were static displays, and people talked to them about what they were and why they were important and all that sort of thing. Some of them were historically significant, and some of them were showpieces that were just beautifully done. But they were on a static display, typically the way a car show works, all day long. Well, at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, they all formed up for this parade kind of down the midway here, and people were all lined up on the side. And if I had known it in advance, I would have positioned our camera a little bit different, a little closer to where you see them making the turn down there, because there's like a bandstand they're going by, and they've got an announcer that's describing all the vehicles. I would have loved to have gotten all that audio. Unfortunately, we didn't get it, but I'll know better next time as to where to position ourselves. I didn't quite know what to expect here, but the point I'm trying to make is this is an excellent idea. I would love to see the car show people, the normal hot rod shows and all that at some point in the day, say at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, to have a parade of all these vehicles, to hear what they sound like and see what they look like when they move. These are vehicles, and to me it was very, very compelling, and I thought it was a great idea. So I congratulate these folks, and these folks once again are the Lake County Farm Heritage Association, and this is their fall festival held in September every year, and you'd have to get a hold of them. I'll give it to you one more time.
Please remember, this material was shot in 2002.
And it's their fall festival. I would really, really recommend that people attend this. And again, not just farmers. Everybody can be educated here, and at the same time, everybody can be entertained. It was really a wonderful, wonderful event. By the way, take a look at this monster. I wish I remember the fellow's name, but I love it when I run into people that are enthusiastic about their work. And this is actually a working tractor, and the fellow that drives it is at retirement age, will be retiring shortly. And I rarely run into somebody quite as enthusiastic about his work and about his vehicle. He absolutely loves this vehicle. This is a working tractor. I'm not even sure if you can call that a tractor anymore. It gets to be, that's like a heavy-duty piece of construction equipment, actually, but it's at the tractor show, so we'll call it a tractor. I was delighted by the attitude of the owner-operator. He just absolutely loved his work and loved his tractor just the same way as many of the guys love their Camaros and Chevelles and all the rest of it. Once again, I hope you're watching it as these vehicles go by, because it's just a wonderful show of things that you probably have never seen before. As a matter of fact, some of the comments I got from the tractor show when we aired it, and what we're doing here, by the way, we didn't know what this parade was going to exactly be. So when we taped the show, we taped it the way we normally taped it with the interviews, and we time every piece and all that. Then when they started running the parade, all of our work was kind of done, and Chuck and I looked at it and said, this is pretty cool. Let's just go ahead and tape this, and then, at a later time, we'll go ahead and put it on the air. We don't want to really miss this. That's why you're seeing this on a separate show. I really wanted to show this to you. First, it's a great idea, as I said before, about doing it in parade form. And secondly, there's some great pieces of equipment to have a look at. And once again, by now you should know, you see that green coming, you're looking at John Deere's. And there are some people that say that even the new John Deere's, even though there's been changes in engines and everything, they sound different. And I don't know how much of that is enthusiast talking. By the way, notice on the right, that's a lady driving that one. And there's a weird one coming up here. I suppose we can qualify as a tractor, and here's the guy that's going to turn right at poor Chuck. It doesn't look like he's paying attention, but he must know. It's very close here. This one, though, looks more like something you'd find in a warehouse, sort of a warehouse piece of equipment, but I suppose it's a tractor, and it must be designed that way for a reason. Again, you attend one of these shows the same way as you attend a car show or a boat show or anything else. You go there, the people are always with their vehicles, and all you have to do is ask them, tell me about this vehicle, tell me why it's important, tell me what's special about it. And these guys, just like the car show guys, will be glad to give you an hour on their vehicle if you're willing to stand there that long. And it's a wonderful education experience to find out about these things. Now, the tractor that's approaching now, we would guess, would be a John Deere. And I'm guessing it would be a John Deere because it's green. However, I've got a feeling that this is an Oliver, and Oliver had the similar coloring, but it had a big splash. Yes, that's an Oliver. It's got the big splash of yellow on it too. I guess that's how you would differentiate between that. But anyhow, typically the green ones are the John Deeres. Also, if you'll notice, a lot of these tractors were pulling equipment, and some of the equipment was pretty elaborate. In fact, the one behind this one, you wouldn't believe the trees. He was literally had a half-inch of clearance getting through some of the trees to make this approach to be part of this parade. But it is a very impressive piece of equipment. I wish I could tell you what it is, but I really don't know. But I must tell you, if you like mechanical things, there's no way you could not enjoy this show. These things are so mechanical with so many moving parts. They're just absolutely fascinating. And once again, the way you enjoy it is you go there and say, I really don't know what I'm looking at. Can you explain this to me? And these folks are just like the car show people. And by the way, once again, take a look. We've got a lady driver there, and it happens to be on an Alice Chalmers. And guess what? Look who's driving this one. And this was a family that owned 45 or 47 Alice Chalmers, one of every model except two. And they were so enthused about their tractors. Many of them were completely restored, and they let me drive their biggest one. I was so pleased to do it, and believe me, it was fun. I had a great day there. I thoroughly enjoyed myself. Now, once again, we've got John Deere's on the move here, everything from big ones to smaller ones. And again, this entire event was open to all kinds of tractors, all kinds of vehicles, everything from garden tractors to what I personally like, of course, are what they call crawler tractors, what I call bulldozers. I just personally have an affection for tracked vehicles. Now notice that this one is offset. I wish I had asked that question there as to why a tractor, there were several of them that were offset, and I'm not really sure why. There was another question that I never asked that several people mentioned during the course of interviews. They used the expression a row tractor, R-O-W. I assume it's R-O-W, maybe it's R-O-E, but they used the expression row tractor. I don't really know what a row tractor is, so that's a question I should have asked and found out what is a row tractor. I'm kind of guessing that the ones with the wheels close together in the front like this one, maybe they would be called row tractors because the close together front wheels would go in a row or a furrow that's being plowed. But I'm just guessing. I could be completely off. That's why I say these things are very interesting to attend and ask questions. Even if you're not a farmer, they're technically interesting, and some of this equipment is just absolutely awesome. I wish we'd had a chance to show you some of the show tractors, the tractors that were on display that have been completely more than just restored. But many of them feature lots of chrome and bright work and all that. Really beautifully done, and it really doesn't surprise me in a way that there are people that are heavy duty into their tractors. We find that same thing, and by the way, there's an orange one, so we're talking Alice Chalmers. Really, these are the same thing. We find people that have collections of fire engines. We have people that have collections of dump trucks, and certainly bulldozers. Bulldozers has gotten to be a very big thing. They have clubs for these people, and they have little meets where they get together and plow dirt around and all that. So I guess I'm not really surprised. There are people that restore tractors and collect tractors, everything from antiques to relatively new ones, and all the pieces of equipment to go in between. Once again, we've got a crawler tractor coming, and it must be a John Deere because of the color combination. Again, I'm guessing, but it was fun. If you're getting the idea I had fun at this event, you've got exactly the right idea. I really enjoyed myself.
A unique, entertaining, enjoyable event. And Bill insists you don't have to be a farmer to enjoy it. Everyone will find something of interest and have fun.
Now let's find out why anyone would want stick shift.
Well, this has been quite an adventure for me, but I think I've had quite enough in the back seat with Jeannine driving. No, I'm only teasing. You did fine, but I like to be the one driving. I'm sure you know that.
People who drive stick like being in control, apparently.
Right. And you don't like driving stick. You can do it now.
It's okay. I can do it if I had to, and that's probably a good thing.
But you kind of have to because you have a brand new 1996 Camaro SS with a 6-speed. So I would say you have to.
Yeah, now I know how to drive it, and I will be driving it this coming spring and summer, which is good.
So what is your opinion now of a stick shift car?
Why do you need it?
This is the question. Let me step over here on the other side of you here. And by the way, I want to make sure, Chuck, make sure you get a nice shot of Paul's car. This is Paul Scarrera's car. He's very proud of this thing. This is the fellow we've had on the show several times with us from Poland. And he's got the gold Fiero with the Corvette motor in it. And this is his daily driver. Why do you need it?
Why do you need stick shift?
Okay. So you don't see the fun of it?
No,
okay.
I don't.
Okay, that's perfect. There's really a couple of reasons why somebody would select stick shift. One of them is a good reason, and one of them is not such a good reason anymore. One reason that you want to select stick shift is it's fun. You're more in tune with your car. You feel the machinery of the car. You select the gear shift as you're approaching a corner. It's more of a driving challenge. The way I like to say it is that you don't get a stick shift car to get someplace. You get a stick shift car because you just want to drive it, even if you're not going anywhere. Just to the joy of driving the car. But if you want to get someplace, 99% of the time you're much better off with an automatic transmission. Now, a secondary thing that we could say is there are many people who are going to insist you can get better fuel economy with a stick shift automobile. My own personal view of that is 95% of the people out there will not get better fuel economy because you have to be a very skilled driver in order to manipulate the throttle correctly and all that. Believe me, just getting a stick shift car does not mean you're going to get more fuel economy. In fact, I would suggest you probably get poorer fuel economy. So it's not a great reason. But the reason, particularly guys, the reason your husband, he was quite right with that car. When you said you wanted an automatic, he said, if you're going to get that kind of a car, you got to get a stick shift. He was correct. And the reason he was correct is because that's a car you drive to enjoy driving. And to enjoy driving a car, you really need the manual transmission. And in years to come, that car will become considerably more valuable than an automatic transmission car because it is a toy car and it's not like a utilitarian vehicle. If you're wondering why people buy manual transmission cars, it's because they're fun to drive. But if you don't see the fun in it, you have absolutely no reason to have one.
Well, I've had girlfriends that have actually had Preludes and Mustangs with manual transmissions, and they drove them every day. Apparently they learned at a young enough age, not that I'm that old, but at a young enough age where it became second nature to them.
Right, but you don't see the joy in it.
No.
See, I could tell when she was driving there. She was tense and she was nervous. Of course, part of that because we were doing it on camera. When we were off camera, she was much better. But when we're doing it on camera, it is a little bit more of a tension thing. But the point is, if you don't see the joy, if you don't see the pleasure in it, then you're probably like 95% of the people out there who would really rather have an automatic transmission.
I can see taking it on the highway, having fun with it on the,
It's not fun on the highway. It's fun in tight, twisty turns and shifting up and shifting down and,
Yes, going into high speeds and whatnot, but for everyday driving, grocery getting, no, I wouldn't see that being fun.
And I'll tell you something else. I agree with her completely. I would not have anything but an automatic transmission for a daily driver.
Guys are certainly strange about cars. I see no reason at all for manual transmission when you can get an automatic.
Guys are very strange about their cars.
Boy, that's true. Let's stop by Motorsports Unlimited cameraman Chuck Itzenthaler's garage and see how he's doing in his effort to detail his Corvette-powered Fiero for the upcoming World of Wheels car show.
This, of course, is our cameraman Chuck Itzenthaler, and a real switch. We've got Jeannine actually operating the camera, so it's anybody's guess how this piece is going to come out, but I'm doing this for a reason. Chuck has built a number of cars in his life, and he does some exquisite work, and I think his strongest area is in body work. He is really superb at doing body work, both at doing the bondoing portion of it and the paint work and all the rest of it. He decided he wanted to put his Fiero, and you've certainly been aware of Chuck's Fiero over the years, as to putting in a couple of different Corvette engines.
Yeah.
Okay, till we're up with LT1 engine, and the car was absolutely perfect. Everything worked, the air conditioning worked, the car was fast, ran in the 12s, all that good stuff. Decides to put it in World of Wheels, and he's kind of looking at it and says, well, but I don't really, the paint isn't any good. It was excellent, believe me.
there was a scratch in the hood.
No, it was excellent. The paint was excellent. I wouldn't have touched it. It would have had to get 10 times worse before I'd even thought about it. So he decides he's going to paint the hood. Well, guess what? Jeannine, pan around a little bit. What happened?
Well, we painted the hood. The color didn't match, so we painted the fenders. And then I painted the door skins and tried to get a blend out of that, and I just gave up and painted the whole car.
Exactly. We're doing this, if you look around a little bit, folks, we're doing this in a little, it's supposed to be a 2-car garage, more like a 1.5-car garage in the middle of winter. And the point that I'm doing this piece for, when you go to these car shows, now this car is going into World of Wheels, which is another how many days?
8.
You gonna make it?
Well, if I don't sleep between now and then.
Exactly. He's been going without sleep nights trying to get this done. And the point I'm trying to make is when you see these beautiful cars at any of these car shows in the World of Wheels, not just World of Wheels, but Chevy, all of them, the summer car shows, and you see the beautiful paint work and the beautiful chrome work and everything else, please have an appreciation for what it takes to do it. Chuck has been, what, the past month, literally night and day doing this?
22 days.
22 days just to prepare it for the World of Wheels so people can kind of walk by and not notice.
Right. And if you notice, there's not all the parts of the car are in the garage.
Some in the house.
They're in my kitchen and in the spare bedroom and a lot of other places stacked all around so nobody scratches anything. And, Paul's been cleaning the underside of the car and it's real cold on the floor.
Please remember, this material was shot in 2002. Chuck's Fiero eventually featured a stroker 383 cubic inch turbocharged intercooled Corvette engine that has won numerous awards for everything from paint to engineering.
You kind of give them the appreciation they're really entitled to. An awful lot of work goes into it.
What started out as an effort to detail his car ended up becoming a complete paint job. And it has a manual transmission too.
Guys are very strange about their cars.
We're out of time, with only enough left to acknowledge the fine work of our award-winning production team, including Chuck Itzenthaler, Sue Cassanda, our webmaster, check out msutv.com, Frank Barbalace, and Tom McGrady. Special thanks to JBTV's Jerry Bryant. Music is created for us by Fireside Recording Studio in Westchester, Illinois, and by independent artists Roger Pauley and Jerry Herbert. Of course, we have to take a moment to thank the star of this edition of Motorsports Unlimited, our host, Bill Wildt. Me, I'm Jeannine Lauschat.
And I'm Luda Kay.
We're looking forward to an exciting 2003 motorsport year.
Thank you for watching and see you next week.
This program made possible in part by support from Bridgestone Firestone and your local Bridgestone Firestone tire retailers.
This program made possible in part by support from ABC Auto Parts, located on Ashland Avenue at 138th Street in Blue Island, Illinois.
Motorsports Unlimited is produced by Bill Wildt, president of the Motorsport Advancement Crusade.
This program made possible in part by support from Jimmy's Red Hots, located on Grant Avenue and Pulaski Road in Chicago.
Motorsports Unlimited was created to raise public consciousness, understanding, and appreciation of the motorsport community and their activities. You can contact us by email at msutv.com or email us directly at msutv@aol.com. We enjoy hearing from our audience and encourage you to let us know what you think. Welcome, folks. I'm Patty Borwitz, and I'm here to tell you a bit about what is going on. Motorsports Unlimited is an American cable access television show that has been around since 1986. In that time, we have filmed well over 1,300 episodes. These test episodes are snippets of shows from our vault. We sure hope that you enjoy them. In today's day and age of computers, YouTube, and the internet, we're taking advantage of it and bringing Motorsports Unlimited global. Subscribe to our YouTube channel under Bill Wildt, because over the next few weeks we're going to have our full 60-minute episodes broadcasting. Be sure to tell all of your friends and join us on YouTube under Bill Wildt. Let's get started.
So that's it, another edition of Motorsports Unlimited and the lovely ladies of motorsports. And be with us next week because we'll have something real exciting. Bill Wildt's going to have the lovely ladies, and just about anything can happen right here on Motorsports Unlimited. Every week at this time, we bring you the best in motorsports. So be seeing ya. Bye-bye. And keep on rocking.